What if Soviet Russia collapsed and made way for White Russia in Hearts of Iron? Well, today we are going to find that out by allowing Sir Stalin to change up the focuses taken and forcing yet another Russian civil war.
What about second
Civil War?
Every other nation in the world will have historical focuses on, and that should allow for some interesting developments. If you are enjoying Hearts of Iron content on the channel and you want to see more, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and when you subscribe, make sure you ding that bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Well, hello there, everybody. It's me again, Chewy, your favorite Hearts of Iron 4 YouTuber. Welcome back to the next part of our Ideologies series here going on the channel. Today we're going to be doing, as I would have said in the intro, monarchist Russia, but it's going to be a little bit different than the previous ones, and I'm going to explain a couple of the key differences before we get into it. The first two things are going to be mods. I have expert AI installed because I've just heard that it is just so much better for the AI. The games are going to be much more reasonable. What was the other one? Can't remember the other one. And then the second one is a mod that basically makes it so anything that requires manpower requires more of it. So that way we don't have the game going like into the 50s with like millions of men still in the field. But that's it aside from graphics mods. But the other thing is going to be here. We're going to go to custom difficulty with the Soviet Union selected. We're going to scroll down to AI behavior and we are going to open up the Tsarist exiles focus. So that way everything in the game will have historic AI focuses except for Russia. And so now when you load in, you're going to see that the Soviet tree, which is absolutely massive here for focuses, they will go down this branch over here, the beaten but not defeated. They will start with this focus and they will make their way down until they have their civil war, because that is how they get the monarchists in charge. If I put the monarchists in charge day one, they still go down the communism route. And if I force them to go down this route and put the monarchists in the first day, then they still have the civil war, and then like the Tsar gets overthrown by a provisional government. It's just really weird. So what we're going to do is we're going to have them go down this branch, and then when the civil war starts, I'm just going to have the provisional government annex the Soviets day one. That way there's no expensive military might, manpower, or anything like that. And then when they get down to this reconvene the Zemsky Sobor or whatever, that is when they will get Vladimir III in charge. And everything else in the world will be exactly the same. Historical AI focuses. We'll still have the fascists in charge in Germany and Italy. We'll still have the traditional governments of the UK, France, the USA, all of them. The only thing that will be different is we will force the Soviets down the monarchist path, and we will basically streamline it for them so it will be as painless as possible to switch to the monarchy. So let's type it in our observe here, our Drew Durnal mode, and then we are ready to go on up to speed 5 and unpause. And before we get too far into it, this is the third episode and I definitely have tons of fun stuff planned, but I'm curious what you guys would like to see next. So let me know in the comments below. I think that maybe like a monarchist Italy would be fun, or maybe a communist France, something like that. Let me know in the comments below. So beaten but not defeated, and they're making their way down the left side of this branch, and they will go all the way down to the eyes fear, the hands do. Around this time is when the civil war should pop off. And like I said, I will immediately integrate the Soviets into the provisional government of like the monarchist Russia. So that's how we're going to do that. White Russia will be taking over immediately. So until then, not a whole lot of interesting stuff is going to happen except for a little bit of economic grow up and stuff that some of it's going to end up getting destroyed in the civil war anyways, but we'll see what we can do to avoid that. My goal is for when White Russia takes over for them to be as powerful as possible without being completely destroyed. So the idea is like as if the Soviets just kind of transformed into the White Russians. But this is like the easiest, most bug-free way I could find to do it. And I even talked to my buddy Bittersteel for a minute about it. So shout out Bittersteel. You're cool, man. But I wanted to make sure that it was like, you know, as smooth as possible without bugs like events and stuff yanking leaders out. And it was wacky in my test run. So this is the most smooth way to do it. I say that, but if you have a suggestion of another way that you think could do this, maybe I'll even redo it with your suggestions. So let me know in the comments. And meanwhile, the NKVD has been founded, and they are working their way through a little bit of cryptology. They are the Soviets after all, still at this point. And of course, the Spanish Civil War has kicked off, and Russia may actually even send a couple of boys to help in the meantime, but it doesn't matter because once the White Russians come out, then they'll leave. So the Civil War kicked off and the provisional Russian government won the war in one day spectacularly, didn't lose a single man in battle. So that's where we're at right now. And so I actually went ahead and I also gave the non-aligned party 100% unbridled authority to rule the nation. So hopefully they will be a little bit more stable than they otherwise would be. And we'll just let the AI take it from there. And now that the provisional government has made their way all the way down the left side of the branch, they need to get down the right side. Once they get through this, reformalize the role of the patriarch, then they will be able to bring back the Tsar. They will get that beautiful green color that we are so used to seeing with Russia. I know a lot of my EU4 boys will appreciate that. And then the Tsar will come back. From there, I've seen the AI do a couple of different things, though I think the main gist is they will go down this branch here, and they will eventually make their way down to the Third Rome. At least I think that's what it is. I could be wrong. I don't exactly know how this will work. I've seen them come down to Third Rome, but I've also seen them go to the fate of Romania, and I think these are mutually exclusive. I'm really not that smart with HOI4, I apologize. And it does look like the provisional government is pumping out plenty of these, whatever this name is. There's tons of them in the field already, with 1.4 million manpower in the field in 1938. So Russia doing pretty good so far. Meanwhile, over in the West, German Reich has annexed the Austrians in the Anschluss, and the Germans of the Sudetenland will soon be reunited with their German brethren in the Reich. France has also joined the Allies, so they are ready to rumble on that front. And with reconvened the Zemski Sobor, or however that is pronounced, finished, we now have Vladimir III in charge of a big green Russia. Look at that. It's a nice looking color. I like that. And now they will go down the Romanov reconstruction route. And from there, I think it's capital of the Tsars. And like I said, I don't really know exactly how it decides which branch to go down once it gets down here. Obviously, it has to be on this side, but it could go either way. And either way, I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out of it. More so, though, I'm excited to see how things go over here, because what goes on over here will very heavily determine what goes on over here. The Allies, the Axis, and then the Comintern is gone. So yeah, Russia's probably going to join the Allies, and the militarization continues to go up quickly with over 2 million men in the field. To put that into perspective, that is over double what Germany has. Over double. It's impressive. Also, I don't know if this is semi-new with By Blood Alone or what. It used to be 1942, and they were still working on the war with China. I feel like I've seen them sweep by like 1939, roughly, pretty much every time, which obviously is incorrect when you think about the real historical context of it. But like, for game mechanics, it's a lot better, because then Japan can actually focus on doing other things like going to war with the US. Taking a look over at Poland, yes, indeedy, they are part of the Allies, and that is because they are getting gobbled up at the moment by the Germans. It's only a matter of time before they capitulate, and then they're probably going to set their sights over to the West, pushing into the Low Countries and France, and then into Russia. Interestingly enough, Russia actually signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, so they got the eastern portions of Poland. And meanwhile, over in the lowlands, the Germans are pushing. They have declared their war, and they are making their way into the Netherlands currently. Interestingly enough, Russia actually justified conquering Karelia from Finland and attacked them. So we have the Winter War, only this time it's monarchist Russia declaring the Winter War. And I'm curious if they'll get the White Peace. I don't actually know how that works. And this keeps getting even weirder. Italy sent nine divisions to fight. Volunteer divisions. 9. That's crazy. Against their ideological enemies, they sent divisions to help in a war of conquest. Paradox AI at its finest. And these guys are completely unopposed. There's 2 units in Helsinki. And aside from that, they actually did sign the White Peace in like the real timeline. So they gave up Karelia, and then they gave up some land over here along the border, and that's about it. So St. Petersburg has a couple extra tiles of buffer between them and Finland now. Taking a look over into Western Europe, the German Reich has pushed through Poland, of course, like I would have shown, but now, since I have last checked with you, they have pushed through the lowlands and established Vichy France after toppling the French government. They are up to 417 factories, which is well past the Russians' 324, which I thought was a kind of an impressive number. They have 126 mill factories versus 221 for the Germans. So yeah, the Germans have about 100 more mill factories than the Russians. That is going to make a huge difference when it comes to the production of their nation and their war economy. But we'll see how things go. I think Germany might be going down the war with Russia focus soon. And here we have it, the transmission from the German Reich. They have declared war on Russia. And with that, Russia has joined the Allies as expected. Who knows how things are going to go? The front is pretty wide. They've got Hungary and Romania, of course, and Slovakia in on the fight. There's a lot of red bubbles, but we'll see how the push goes initially. I don't even know how this happens, but it says that Russia here has 5,300 fighters in the Air Force. 5,300? Is that a real thing? That seems a bit unreasonable. Compared to the Germans' 1,300 fighters, which I feel is much more reasonable. I don't understand if the AI has just been sinking a ton of production into fighters for Russia, or what. Either way, this war's been going on for a while, and the borders haven't moved a whole lot. Like, they've pushed them back a few tiles here, but it's like, even if they get over here into the Pripyat marshes, they're just gonna stall out. So it doesn't look like Germany's doing too good right from the rip. And with the first 1 million Russian casualties in the war, we have 600 to the Germans, but another almost 250,000 to Romania. So it looks like Romania is actually pulling their weight this time around, though Germany and Italy are throwing bodies at the problem. And yes, you will see Japan also has gotten involved in the war, meaning so has the United States. And in one of my test runs, the US had like 9 million losses, which is just crazy to me because the US lost like 100,000 men in World War II, like 100,000 total. I don't understand how these numbers get so inflated in this game, but at this point, it really does sort of do like the just a statistic kind of thing. It appears that Vichy France has gotten involved in the war. I believe the USA attacked them. I think that's part of their focus tree. But also we have something interesting to take a look at. Russia is now purple, and it's not actually Russia anymore. It's the Third Rome. They are now a theocracy, actually. Obviously, theocracies aren't represented accordingly in this game, but they are a non-aligned nation led by Patriarch Meltitius. I don't know how you say that.
Miletius.
But either way, he is the defier of the sun god, giving division recovery rate, compliance growth, attack and defense versus Japan, and then supreme representative of God on earth, giving stability, war support, and ideology defense drift. So pretty good leader. Also very nice beard. And meanwhile, the casualties continue to mount with almost 2.5 million for the Third Rome, with over 3.5 million for the German Reich. Now, they definitely have stalled out. They have not made like any progress at all in the last like year. This is really interesting to see because I don't really know at what point they're going to start falling back, because they still have men. They're still mobilizing men. They still have some equipment, not a lot, but they still have some. So it's hard to say when the tides will actually turn. Now, I do not know what happened over here in Yugoslavia, but it looks like they broke apart. We've got Slovenia, Bosnia, Croatia, Serbia, Kosovo. Serbia is down here as well. Whatever this Vardar Banovia, it's like North Macedonia, I suppose. But yeah, they are completely all split up. I don't know if I've ever seen that in vanilla, but that is a thing. And 2 years into the war, almost 5 million losses for the Russian, and well over 5 million, almost 6 million for the Germans. I think it's only a matter of time before they stall out. And yeah, the German Reich is definitely falling, with the Polish Republic actually in charge of most of the land of mainland Germany. And for some reason, the United Kingdom is over here in Poland. But if we look up here to the north, you're going to see Norway is making their way into Sweden. And that is because the Third Rome attacked Sweden. And I don't know why. They just attacked them, but then they joined the Axis. So now Sweden is going to get bonked in this war. Also, Italy controls the majority of the development in Norway. So this whole thing has just been super wacky, and I'm really curious to see how things look once the Allies close in on Italy. It's poetic when you think about it. We have Third Rome in charge of Rome next to United Mexican States. I do love this game. I really love this game. And here we have it, the Treaty of Berlin, with Third Rome taking 56 states. 56. France taking 12. British Italy taking 9. Of the people being annexed by the Russians, it is Iran, you got Romania, Hungary, Slovakia being annexed as well. This Italian Socialist Republic over here with Iraq as well, Bulgaria, Lithuania, Sweden, Estonia, Latvia. So yeah, the Russians went buck wild on the annexation. A ton of people are liberated, and we now have the Zentrum over here in charge of Germany. But without a doubt, my favorite thing in this peace deal is right here. Third Rome taking Czechia from Czechoslovakia. So Czechoslovakia is actually just Slovakia and Mazovia and the Sudetenland, but no Czechia. So that's pretty good. The border war created in this game is always astonishing. But what do you guys think about pink Italy? Probably better than green one. I wonder if it would do any better in a world war. And that Third Rome, man, that is incredible. They actually have Korea as well. Took it from Japan. That portion of the war is still ongoing, but we're going to call the video here. I do hope you enjoyed it. I know I certainly did. I'm really excited to do more Hearts of Iron 4 stuff. And like I said, if you have a suggestion of the next part of Ideologies that you would like to see, make sure you leave it in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like on the video and subscribe, because you're missing out on a ton of content if you're not already subscribed. Special thanks to ALS Gamer, Legrand Puba, Chio, Josh Kopczynski, Adrian Rhino, Blonde Damon, Cannon Fodder, and many more. If you want to see your name here and early access to these videos, check out the join button below the video or the Patreon linked in the description.